How often have you heard a mathematics teacher complain? My learners know how to do the calculations, they just don't understand the question. Or, I first have to simplify, to reword the questions for my learners, and only then can they solve the problem. Many learners also view our mathematics classrooms as a foreign country and the subject of mathematics as a foreign language. Why? Language is the key to communication between a teacher and a learner. Understanding much of what we want our learners to learn is dependent on their knowledge of both mathematics as a language and the language of instruction, which in most of our classrooms is English. Learners whose primary home language is not English and who do not have a solid understanding of English are therefore more likely to be challenged and experience difficulties with mathematics. Research has shown that although a learner might be able to develop conversational English language skills in a year or two, it takes as many as 7 years to learn an academic language, which is the language specific to a content area such as mathematics. If our learners can't understand what is being asked of them, they will not be successful in answering our questions. The language of mathematics is therefore a critical factor in the teaching and learning of mathematics. Our learners need to understand the information that is read, written or presented orally in our classrooms. Communication is integral to a learner's ability to succeed in the real world. Without this skill, our learners will not be able to express their thoughts clearly so that others can understand what they are trying to say. Our learners therefore need to be able to communicate to learn about mathematics and communicate mathematically. Teachers should help their learners understand the important role of language in learning by facilitating good communication in the classroom. Good communication leads to greater insight into mathematical understanding, the development of social and intellectual independence, development of mathematical language, the consideration of alternative approaches and solutions to problems, enhancement of language skills, a positive attitude towards mathematics, the promotion and development of active thinkers. As we can see, interaction and communication serve many functions and are essential if we wish to empower our learners. Research also shows that if we focus on effective communication during our lessons, our learners will retain 90% of what we teach them. What practical strategies can we use to improve the interaction and communication in our classrooms? Teaching should not be a one-way communication process because chalk and talk does not promote the development of important language skills. Our learners must be given the opportunity to question, probe, challenge, compare, and debate during our lessons. Let's have a look at the differences between good and poor communication in our mathematics classrooms. Mathematics has been defined as a form of language invented by humans to discuss abstract concepts of number and space. Language teachers know that a language lesson consists of 4 important components, namely listening, reading, speaking, writing. In the past, mathematics teachers were only required to read and write mathematical symbols during lessons without considering the use of any language skills. Today, Successful mathematics teachers know and understand that mathematics is a language and therefore try to incorporate all language components effectively into their daily lessons. Our learners must become truly literate. It has often been said that what our learners see and hear during our mathematics lessons is often not what we, their teachers, see and think they hear. As teachers, we understand the need for our learners to learn how to communicate and follow classroom discussions effectively. If we, however, intend for our learners to know and understand the concepts and skills we teach them, then we must teach them to listen and engage meaningfully with the mathematics text. Most learners are just interested in getting the correct answer, without understanding how they got the answer in the first place. Teachers must link the text to the learner's prior knowledge and guide them to read and interpret it correctly. One strategy familiar to language teachers and which seems most useful in the context of teaching learners to read and interpret meaningfully is that of guided reading sessions. In these sessions, the teacher is responsible for helping learners to connect what they are reading to their prior knowledge. Teachers present the text to the learners in small sections, making sure to process each section meaningfully before progressing to the next. As the reading progresses, the teacher can ask learners important process questions that he or she would like the learners to consider in the future. They may be asked to predict what the reading is about simply by reading the title of the chapter, or answering questions such as, does this make sense? What does the picture, chart, or graph tell you? How does the title connect to what we are reading? When learners write, they express their own ideas and use their own vocabulary and language. The process of writing requires gathering, organizing, and clarifying thoughts. It demands finding out what you know and don't know. It calls for thinking clearly. Writing, therefore, involves a higher level of communication than listening and speaking. Learners must organize their thoughts in the written form. As a strategy to improve mathematical language, writing provides teachers with a unique opportunity to see exactly how a learner understands the work covered in the classroom. An excellent activity to use for this purpose is to ask your learners to fold an A4 page in half down the middle. On the left-hand side, learners calculate or solve a problem, and on the right-hand side, they explain their thinking in their own words. This activity enables the teacher to have the computational and conceptual side of the learner's thinking on one piece of paper. Our second lesson focuses on the importance of teaching the vocabulary of mathematics.